man slipped on a banana peel and landed on $20,000. So.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. Even my wife looked at me and she's like, what the did you sign up for? And I was like, I don't really even know, but I just followed the checklist and here we are. It's like, oh, okay, well, cool, have fun. It's not about the automation. It's not about the widget. It's not about anything other than the human aspect of it.
What's your advice to people that are watching this right now that may be thinking, this sounds really cool, but I don't really know if I can do it, and I don't really know if it's possible?
You don't have a choice anymore. It's a time in history where you got to figure it out, and you're either going to be on the side of somebody who understands how the world runs and works, or you're not. So my advice is to use that perspective and learn it. We all have a brain. We can all learn things. It's not a matter of intelligence. It's a matter of will.
Hey, Daniel, welcome aboard. Great having you. How much did you make last month with your automation business? And how much did you make in the preceding month as well?
Oh, man. So I went from, in the first 3 weeks, we went 0 to 10K. And now I'm coming up on 8 weeks and we'll be hitting 20K MRR. So it has been a rocket ship.
Jeez. What do you owe that to, would you say? I mean, I see a lot of people coming into Maker School, Make Money with Make in the various communities. And, well, we do have some people that like execute quickly and get results. What would you say is the unique thing about you that allowed you to hit that 20,000 in about 8 weeks?
I stopped thinking. That was my worst enemy. I just was like, you know what? If I'm gonna get punched in the teeth as fast as I can. Because the faster I get that out of the way, and it's been a volume game. So I owe it to you saying like, hey, get the numbers out and then figure it out. Get the applications out, figure it out, and that's what I owe it to, is the volume. And stop not trying to be perfect with everything.
That's really big, eh? Yeah, I feel like so many people aim for perfection before they've even made it 10. There's so many people aim for 100% before they even make it 10% of the way there. It's like, focus on the problem you have right now, and then worry about being perfect later. What were you doing before you started all this stuff?
So I was a consultant. I was a consultant for law firms and consulting in what would be a fractional COO role more than anything, just helping structure organizations. And the funny part is for all my clients, I was doing the automations anyways. And I was so naive to the market in the automation space. I had no idea that I could actually turn around and just sell the automations. So like I was running myself into the ground, doing all of the analytical work and the automations on the side. And yeah, this made my life a lot more simple, that's for sure.
Was it primarily enterprise, SMB? What vertical?
So it was from about 1.5 to 10 million. So small, medium-sized business. It was all different practice areas for law. And then I dabbled in other markets as well, but that was just the one that kept coming up. In that space, they're taught to be fantastic lawyers, but they're never given time to taught how to run a business.
Understood. So they spend a lot of their time on the fulfilling of the legal stuff, but not actually on how to run a legal business.
Absolutely, yeah. And in the niche on the niche, we kind of talked about this before, it's a really interesting place. There's 3 core companies that operate and sell services to organizations between 1 and 5 million. And they sell operating systems. That is it. They sell how to structure your business. They're called EOS, Scalable, and Scale Up. They just walk business owners through how to install org charts, how to install cadence. Stuff that you or I may seem as so simple. This is massive, massive business for them. Like selling out conferences globally every year at $5,000 a ticket. And it was shocking to see that as well, that people pay for that.
You know, I'd go as far as to say that's another big skill of yours that you entered into this program with. You know, whereas a lot of people, I think, just naturally have limiting beliefs surrounding how valuable a service is. In addition to turning your brain off, you already knew how valuable this was. And hell, you already knew how valuable a very scaled down version of this was. These are just roadmaps for implementation. I mean, a lot of systems and stuff like that we sell actually do the implementing. So I imagine that probably allowed you to start pitching much higher right off the bat, yeah?
Absolutely, yeah. That was it. I was able to be in the mind, I guess, of the business owners that are trying to automate. And A lot of them are in that place that the operations are chaotic, they're stressful, they can't even see them, they can't see the forest for the trees, and they're going down one of three routes. They're either going to go towards these OS companies that are going to charge them through the nose to get them to draw process maps, or they're going to try and automate it themselves and just burn the midnight oil, teaching themselves tech, or they're just going to have to hire an automator. And that third avenue is what you guys kind of helped me even discover that it exists. And yeah, that's been wild. I don't even know how else to put it, man.
Knowledge asymmetry for sure. Good place to do some arbitrage. So many people don't
Yeah.
even know that like drag and drop solutions, a lot of this stuff that used to take whole teams exist, which is really the biggest thing. Just like, oh, I know this, you don't. Have you dabbled with, I know we talked automation a lot, but like have you dabbled with sprinkling AI on systems and stuff like that as well? You've done some cold email and GTM stuff.
Yeah, that has been actually the biggest pull through the automation. It's a little bit of the old school. The problem isn't the problem statement, right? They'll come in and a lot of the clients are asking for automation. I'm like, well, we can automate this, but there's 27 other things that we can automate, or we can just plug AI into this automation and really break you free. And I think that's been a huge part of the creation of the recurring part, the revenue on the back end. And what's put me in a box of an IT company. I'm building this machine, but someone's got to grease the wheels while you're moving. And they're like, hey, I run a business and you do the AI, and I'll call you when I need you, but just keep the machine running.
Yeah, it's almost like a peace of mind payment that they're making. I got an accountant, I think, 6 or 7 months ago now, and he had this package called the Peace of Mind package. It was, I don't know how much money, I don't know, docs my accountant's rates or anything, but it was like several $1,000s, and I was just like, that's what I want. I want peace of mind. I just want to know that when I spend money, it goes into this black box, and this black box just takes care of all my tax stuff. And what do I get back? I get 100% foolproof, fantastic accounting. And I feel like it's similar in many ways with systems, right?
Yep.
I imagine people are probably relying on you as like the fractional systems guy then. So it's like an evolution of your previous role.
Yep.
Yeah,
Big time.
perfect. Exactly. I mean, that's like the perfect setup, right? And then you get form deep relationships with clients, and yeah, sky's the limit.
Yeah, it really is. And it's their favorite saying is, I'm paying you so that I don't have to think about it. Like that is it. Like just let me know that it works, and let me know that you'll notice when it doesn't, and let me pretend that the world is rosy so I can focus on my business. And
Yeah, the stuff that I do. Yeah.
yeah, it's great. And we all have, I think that's a good business to be in, and a good place to be for clients. Because, like you said with your accountant, money is the easy part. There's unlimited amounts of money in the world, but finding somebody that can allow you just to not think about one less thing during the day, it's worth its weight in gold.
It's insane to me that we're even having this conversation because of just how many limiting beliefs I hear around money constantly, 24/7. And just the fact that you said that, I think, goes to show why you're as successful as you have been in just a short period of time. There is an unlimited amount of money in the world. That's not really the bottleneck at the end of the day. And just
And
like,
ever.
dude, that's suffusing every call you have with a client. Like, hell yeah, man. Yeah, much respect. Very impressive growth.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's it's crazy. You can see people that have that limiting belief, and you can't force them to see the truth, but it's, um, when I draw these automations out, and I kind of use like the pipeline analogy. I'm like, information flows just like water through these pipelines, and our automations are just sticking a straw into it. And uh, I'll segue that into the money flows around the world every day. Trillions of dollars changes hands every single day. Your business has a responsibility to just put a straw into that pipeline, and it's never going to stop, because if it stopped, the world stops. And in the history, we would have never seen that. No matter what, the money will never stop flowing.
I don't know if you're into sci-fi, but the spice must flow. Very, very similar
Exactly.
idea. You got it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the spice must flow, man. And
That's
that's
sick,
it.
man.
Yeah, I love Dune.
Can I ask you then, speaking of spice, what was like the numbers goal that you had when starting with this stuff? Like when you transitioned from whatever you're doing before to AI automation?
You know what? I had no expectations coming in. None. I just figured, let's give this a shot. I'll be honest, like, I like to learn and funnel hack and see what is going on in the world. So I was like, you know what? I'm expecting I'm going to lose money signing up for this, but I'll learn something new. Who cares? So I didn't really even have a goal. Yeah, I've tested out a lot of different niches and a lot of different growth programs, whether it's Tacky Moore in the coaching space, Brian Mark in the personal training. I love learning how people execute from the inside out. So I was kind of taking that approach where I'm like, let me just see what he's done for himself. Like he's got the proof. You got the proof. Let me see how he's, going about this business plan and this business structure. So there's more
Yeah,
learning to do.
that is super cool. Man, slipped on a banana peel and landed on $20,000. So
Yeah, well, thank you for that. I owe you that, so I appreciate it. That should tell you
no,
something about your program, man. That it's like, oops, accidentally went to 20K. My bad.
oh yeah, man, that's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. That's cool. Sounds like honestly, you're just a curious person and you're just curious about things, and I think that's just as valid a reason than others. I get so many people that come into the business model and that ask me to help shepherd them through it, that like they have like crazy monetary constraints and they like really need to make things work, and they have desires obviously to like free themselves from 9 to 5 obligations or societal expectations or whatnot. And so
Yep.
I've seen people come in through all various directions, and it's really illuminating to me to see which ones tend to correlate the best with results. I can tell you confidently, believe it or not, the guys that like come into stuff and they like need to make things work, and it's like they're holding a gun to them, they're like, it's just like, we have to make this happen. Very rarely actually end up making it happen compared to the
Yep.
people that don't. And I think it's just because of that pressure thing. When you're in a place that you're driven not necessarily by, like where's my exact like next dollar coming from, and more so just like, okay, like let me work this business model out, maybe try and break some limiting beliefs or whatever. I think you go a lot farther because you're able to get a little bit of perspective, right? It's
Yep.
like oxygen, right? A little bit of cash flow. And if people come into this and $0, it's very difficult for them, I think, to like be able to take that breath, to subsist for more than 30 seconds. You, it
Yep.
sounds like, had a successful fractional consulting business before this, or whether you're working as a contractor or an employee of a business, you had a little bit of that oxygen, right?
Yep. You're absolutely right. Because when you think of the flip side to that perfectionism, the part of you that's saying, I can't get this wrong, it's slowing you down from getting the volume, is the exact same part that is saying, I have to get this right so I can eat. So they kind of go hand in hand, and it's hard to break those two pieces apart, right? It's like if I mess up this one proposal for a client, I'm not going to eat. So therefore, I'm going to stress about it far more than I have to. And that maybe that's why I am guessing a little bit here, but maybe that's why they go hand in hand and it kind of pervades the brain throughout the process.
Yeah. And then as opposed to just, getting up and going, whether you hit 90% or something like that, you're
Yeah,
trying to get those diminishing returns to do like the 100 on everything. Then you only send, I don't know, like 4 cold emails or something when you should have sent 400.
exactly. Yeah. And then you're really scared to lose clients. So you're spending 20, 30 hours extra per client than you have to because you got to eat. So you lose that client and all of a sudden you didn't spend enough time getting new ones.
I
And
see it a lot in referral based businesses where like people don't have established lead generation methods to turn strangers into paying customers. And it's one of the reasons why I
Mhm.
avoid referral based businesses like the plague. Because when it's a referral based business, like you don't know when the next client is coming. You don't have an equation where it's like, okay, cold email system, I put this much money in and then I get this much money out on average, right?
Yep,
Instead, you're just like, oh my God, if I don't perform and really just kiss their ass, how am I going to eat next month? Because I don't have any clients coming in. So I
exactly.
think cultivating like strong outbound skills, super important. Like probably one of the most important things you can do, whether it's an AI automation business specifically or some other business.
Totally agree. Nothing else matters if you can't acquire clients. You end up being owned by your one client if you're stuck on referrals or two clients and you're an employee then. That's it. So if you don't get that skill, you'll always be an employee, no matter what you do.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Let's break down the actual strategy that you followed then. What did you end up choosing niche wise, if you have a niche? And then if so, why did you pick that one? Tell me what that first client was like. Oh, I always love that story.
Oh man. So I went. I didn't even go industry specific niche. I went service based niche.
Hmm.
So building out ERPs in ClickUp, Asana, all those project management softwares. So anything on there that I just opened up the filter and I put in ClickUp and I said anything that says ClickUp, I'm going to apply to. Like whatever it takes. I don't care if they want me to translate to Spanish.
I'll
I
figure it
know
out.
this. Yeah, I got AI, whatever. And and oddly enough, the very first client, he said 3 words to me and hired me, and I was just like, what? So I sent a proposal over. He watched it, I guess, and so he said, "This is great. You're hired. Fix this." And that was it. And he just kind of like threw me to the wolves. I'm like, there's supposed to be a process here. I'm supposed to get your logins. He's like, whatever. Here's all my logins. Figure it out. And then like crickets after I had to fix all the automations on his back end, and they were all broken. And I'm pretty sure they were copy and pasted off the internet.
Hmm.
You know those good old templates that everyone's getting
Oh
these
yeah,
days.
we all know about them templates.
Oh yeah. And like none of it worked, man. None of it. It seemed like they tried to write code themselves and whew, yeah. So I fixed it in record time. You know when you're hungry with that first client, right? And you're like, I'm gonna knock this out of the park. Like I dropped everything I was doing. It was 7 o'clock at night. I fixed it really quickly, like within 3 hours, and closed the contract out and said, "Hey, thanks. We got it fixed. I built you a training video. I rebuilt everything. Here's a walkthrough on the automation, how it works, so that the next guy." And he actually got mad at me. He got mad at me. He's like,
Mad
"Hey,
at
great
you?
work. Yeah, great work. Thank you. Why'd you cancel the contract? Like, you're the guy now." I'm like, "I don't even know your last name, man." He's like, "Yeah, well, you're the guy. You're the guy. I sent your contact info to my team, and they'll reach out, and you can fix all our other stuff too." Okay. Well, I guess there's a market for this. So away we go.
Incredible. Damn, talk about like striking while the iron's hot. I think
Yeah.
doing it in 3 hours is huge because clearly he was at his wit's end. If he's the sort of guy that's just like, fix it, please, God, help me. And then he just sends you all his logins.
He did not care. I was like, "Do you want me to sign anything? Like, there's going to be client information here. Do you care?" Like, nothing. He's just fix it. I don't care. It was his entire business couldn't onboard new clients, and it was a high volume business. So they
Hmm.
had like it turned his intake pipeline into accordion, and it was just backed up. When I finally fixed it, it had to go through like 50 gigabytes of client data, and he maxed out his automation usage in like an hour because it was so messed up. So it was good. Yeah.
Dang, man. Yeah, struck while the iron's hot, and I guess therein lie the results. Are you still working with him then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. He
Well
won't
done.
let me quit. So that's it.
It's funny because when Daniel joined Maker School, he like asked the questions that most people ask initially, and like you can see his post history and stuff. There's like a variety of various things. How do I get started with this? How do I get started with that? His intro post and whatnot. And then yeah, it was like what 2 days, 3 days or something. He's like, oh, never mind all that. He just signed 6 grand. It's like, okay,
Moving on.
the hell did this happen?
Yeah. I was even there like, what? Even my wife looked at me and she's like, "What the fuck did you sign up for?" And I was like, "I don't really even know, but I just followed the checklist and here we are." She's like, "Oh, okay. Well, cool. Have fun."
That's awesome, man. How about the
Yeah.
next couple of clients that you got then? So this was number one, still with you, obviously been 8 weeks, but
Yeah.
what else?
So the next the next one actually was the same type of deal. Threw the proposal in, and he just like was like, "It's broken, fix it." I was like, kind of expecting that to be the norm after that, but The following clients, when I started discussing their problems in detail and going into the problem below the problem,
Hmm.
they wanted me to not only solve the automation, they brought me in and being like, well, you're going to be the guy who understands both business and automation. And
Hmm.
what I'm starting to see on clients, 3 through 8, was that these owners just want somebody to care about their business. And they want people who understand business and not just give them another widget and another piece of software. They
Yeah.
want less. And they're like, they want you to understand the purpose of the automation. And so all of the discussions since then have been very root cause focused. I'm losing 20 hours per week. It's causing stress in the business, and this automation, I hope, can fix it. And once you kind of get down to that real human issue, it's like all our business. It's not about the automation. It's not about the widget. It's not about anything other than the human aspect of it. And so that is what has led to the big growth in recurring revenue.
Absolutely. Congrats on the 8 clients in 8 weeks. I mean, client a week, that is incredible. Keep this up. By the end of the year, you'll have 52. And
Hey,
second,
yeah,
the point that you're making, which is that it's not really about the building of the systems. It's more so about how you position their needs and then solve those needs, whether it relies on automation or not, right? Independent of automation is really what we should all be rooting for here. Like when I work with people, they don't hire me because I'm a systems expert. I am a systems expert. That's not why they hire me. They hire me because I'm a problem solver. So they
yeah,
know whether it's a systems problem or whether it's a people problem or whether it's a market problem, I'm going to be able to come in and I'm going to be able to apply my intelligence to fix it. So I find personally when you position yourself as that, as like a strategist and as a consultant, and really as a partner, which is what the fractional ops stuff allows you to do really easily,
yeah.
you're able to get so much more of the upside as well. Rev share deals, big chunky percentages, like 5-figure recurring monthlies, stuff like that. So definitely doing the right thing. And damn, I can't imagine how big you're going to be in like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months from now. If this is where you're getting to in 8 weeks, I see the
Yeah.
problems and like organically. One thing I want to chat about next is the challenges, obviously, because there's wins and then there are the downsides that come with them. But like, I have full faith in your ability to do it because succeed because you're doing that right now for a bunch of other businesses, right? So you're going to see the same problems apply in your own business, and you're just going to be like, oh well, I'm already the fractional ops guy in my own company, so
That's it. Yeah. It's funny you bring that up. One of my longest clients asked me, he's like, so, what are you going to do? And you obviously know how to structure all this. And I realized that the value in the consulting isn't always the knowledge, but
hmm.
it's the difference between perspective and perception. And it's like, no matter how good I am, no matter what I know, I have to realize that there's nothing in the world that will give me the ability to have an outside perspective on myself. So that's where you need support. Like, I'll need you, I'll need him, because I can't look back at my business as an outsider. And I can still like say, hey, like, here's the symptoms I'm seeing, here's the solution, but that's it. It's impossible to have perspective upon yourself. Fundamentally, laws of physics don't allow it. It's like, can a mountain look at itself? No, it can't. And
Hmm.
I can
Interesting.
I can shift perceptions and be like, I'll look at it through the fractional lens and I'll look at it through this, but I can't step back. And that's where you need a support network because they can look at you and just not be in it. And so the value of that is huge because I can still spin my wheels no matter what, no matter how experienced I am, for days and days and days. But I can go to you and be like, here's the problem I'm having. My perception, my experience tells me this is it. But you have the ability to look at it and not be influenced and say, yeah, well, you know what? It's because you're on fire over there and you can't see it right now. So that's huge.
What a great mental model. I never really thought of it like that. But yeah, by definition, you can't get that perspective. A mountain cannot perceive itself, right? A person cannot perceive itself the same way that other people can. It's really cool because what you said there about a support network is golden. I think this applies not just in business, obviously, it's just in everything. We can't really appreciate our own blind spots. One little hack that I used to do is I would ask myself, if I was a friend, what advice would I give me? And, obviously you can approximate this stuff. You obviously can't get the true perspective. But I found that that was pretty valuable because it was like, oh, if I was a friend, I'd just say, quit doing this stupid shit, you moron. Do this and make 10 times more money. And then I do it and I make 10 times more money.
Exactly.
But, it's really interesting. All of the, and this is me just yapping about my own business growth, but all of the biggest boosts in my business have always come about through one-off conversations, completely random one-off conversations. I feel like I'm the least creative person on planet Earth.
Yep.
Because every major business shift I've ever made in my entire life has always just been like, hey man, so I'm kind of going through this right now. What do you think? Oh, well, yeah, this is what I would do. And I'm just like, and then I do it and then I make like $100,000 a month. And it's like, whoa.
Right?
It's wild. It's wild. I can like literally, and I journal about this. Feel free to check it out on my blog if you want. But it's just like, oh, this person said this 2.5 years ago, and then I was like napping, and in my nap, I was like, wait, didn't that guy say that one time? Oh, I should do this, and then I do it, and then I make way more money. Like
Yep.
everything is always based off of the outside perspective. So I'm really appreciative of you bringing that up. That's one of the reasons why I like conversations like these, by the way, because a lot of the time I get juice as well.
Yep.
So selfishly speaking, it's really cool seeing all the progress you've made. And speaking about progress, Daniel, with great power comes great challenges or something.
Oh, yeah.
But how has it been actually managing this? What would you say are the biggest challenges of 8 clients in 8 weeks?
It's actually trying to temper their excitement. It's trying to shave the froth off all the hype that everyone is seeing in the news and capabilities of AI and automation. I care about these people. I get wrapped up in the excitement. I'm like, yeah, I can build this for you and I can build this and let's do it. And the biggest challenge there has actually been having to throttle that and what I want to deliver for them and saying, yes, I can deliver this. Let's be real about the expectations along the way. And it's kind of like talking to your kid or your best friend, and you're like, yeah, you're gonna get it. Let's do this. And just, you're not letting them down, but it's just tempering those expectations. That has been the hardest because they are so excited about it. They're excited about their future. They're excited to have, somebody working towards that. And you don't want to crush their hopes and dreams, but yeah, that's
a
hard.
skill to learn, huh? Jeez,
Yeah.
I feel like when you nail that, it's going to reap dividends not only in your business life.
I really hope so. I really hope so. I got a client who's like, he's like, you're my hype girl, and I'm like, what? He's like, you're my hype girl, man. Like everything's possible with you. Like, let's do it. Let's go. $100 million company coming up, and I'm like, oh God, I gotta stop
Like I
that.
screwed up big time.
Yeah, we can do it. But let's forget. It's like working out. You're gonna have a six pack. We just gotta run 100 miles first. So that's the hard part. And for you or me or others, there's a lot of people out there where it's like, yeah, just do it. It's just do it. But you forget that a lot of people don't like doing it.
For sure.
Yeah.
And you need to do it before you see anything, of course.
Yeah.
It's like the, I don't know, soccer mom starting a new workout routine, and she looks at the bicep curl. She's like, oh, if I do this, I'm going to look like Arnold. I want to look like Arnold. And it's like,
Yeah.
it takes a long time to look like Arnold.
It does. It really does. Yeah. And so that's been definitely the most difficult part. I can work 20 hours straight. I love working. And I can deliver what they want. I just have to work on not getting them so excited.
Yeah, your energy is infectious, Daniel. So I very much appreciate that. I don't think there are a lot of other people that would say, love working, could work for 20 hours straight. It's just like the best thing ever. They make their work play, and they just want to play all the time. I think we've sufficiently done the 0 to 1 with AI automation at this point. So for you, it's more of a question of how do we turn the 1 into 100? What's got you so bottlenecked these days?
The bottleneck now is going to be structuring, how to structure the organization to grow properly. I'm chewing over 3 models. I think finding people to help is going to be easy, but doing it to scale is going to be the difficult part because this model, there's been like three models in this space that have been successful, but I don't know if it's going to hold up in the new way of doing things, you know?
Give me an example.
So I guess your old school model is, hey, let's just go out, let's hire three guys to run automations, and then you scale and you add salespeople, and then you add AR, and you add a project manager, and away you go, right? And then I'm sure you saw this one. It moved online to I'll bring in the work and it's just market arbitrage. I'll hand that work off to lower paid talent overseas. I'll manage relationships and easy peasy. But I'm seeing with a lot of the recurring clients that, they want that relationship with you. They want to talk to you. They want to know that you're working on their project and they're paying big dollars for it. So you owe that to them. And I don't know if that arbitrage model works for that. So I'm kind of toying with the idea of adopting the models from that you would see in like financial services, the legal space, heck, even hair salons of just you bring it in and you do a fee split. And that expert in AI and automation owns that relationship, and your responsibility is more of a collective. So I don't know. I guess it's a little bit of a test. What do you think?
Yeah, well, this is the perfect conversation to have on this call. So, fan freaking tastic. See, the
Yeah,
thing is,
man.
most people are bottlenecked at the lead gen side of things, right? Like right up at the top. Now,
Yep.
you obviously owing to some of your past experience and just the fact that you're just ooze charisma.
Thanks,
You
man.
don't
Thank
you
you.
don't have a bottleneck there, right? That's not your problem. So naturally, the question that you're trying to answer is, okay, cool. Assuming the lead stuff is taken care of, which it obviously is, where do I
Yep.
go from there? And how do I fulfill this in the most economical means possible? The reality is you can use any one of the models that you talked about. It's just a matter of margin. It's a matter of goal.
Yep.
So I guess if we were to like backwards reverse engineer this, like how big would you want an agency like this to get to, or an operation, let's say, because you don't even know if agency is the model that you're going to settle on.
Yeah. You know what? I would say, based off what I'm seeing with this, be a pretty fun ride to take it to 10 million annually. Just from what I've seen in the past, the demand is there in the beginning, and you could stretch that all the way to 10 million without having to worry about punching in a weight class that you don't belong, or having to make that jump to enterprise level. So I would like to take it that far. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that
But
sounds well. I haven't scaled an agency to $10 million. Let me just let that be known first and foremost.
that's
So
fair.
my understanding of how to get much further than a million and a bit a year is understandably limited. I don't see any fundamental reason why the models that I'm going to talk about with you don't apply at those numbers, but I imagine you have that like age old thing whereas the company gets bigger the margins go down in a people in an agency in a people focused business simply
Yeah.
because a smaller share of the total work that your staff members do on an aggregate is about fulfilling the client, and more of it starts being like internal collaboration and communication and alignment and all the bullshit words you see in fancy slide decks. So I
Yep.
think there are a variety of ways that you could probably do something like this. It's just a matter of like what you want those margins to be. Like, yeah, look at all the agencies that are about $10 million a year that operate with that like standard AE or like account manager style relationship, and then you have a fulfillment team, and it's kind of a distributed fulfillment team. But then the account manager is like the one-on-one communicator, and then you have some project managers in there. They're not like breaching like 35-40%. You know what I mean? And that's like
Yeah.
good. That's like really really good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with AI, with leverage, I bet you could probably push that up a little bit more. Get to
Yep.
like 45-50% margins on an operation like that, even with like the established thing. Because it's a working model and all you're doing is you're basically just like turbocharging it. But
Exactly.
I feel like if you really want, yeah, like if you wanted to push that even more, obviously, you need to reimagine the whole agency model in general. There's this one designer out there, Brett from Design Joy. You ever hear of this guy?
Okay. I have not. No.
Solo agency, very similar to what I do, really, if you think about it.
Yep.
Solo agency does 120K a month. So it's like 1.5 mil a year, and he's one guy,
Okay.
something like that. 120K, 100K. I might be butchering it. I think his peak was like 160. So the entire way that he operated is just like entirely himself with
Yep.
templated comms, where I think it was like once every day or once every 48 hours, something like that. He just had like templated comms, a big library of templates with project updates. and then like templated fulfillment because he was a designer. He could,
Yep.
his scopes were as simple as, hey, I want you to redesign this landing page. And he'd just get the request. He'd match it to the template that made the most sense, make a couple of edits, send it back, right?
Yep.
His offer was really sweet. But, when I'm thinking about scaling one of these like micro lean mega agencies to $10 million a year with that same mindset, I think you could probably go pretty far.
Yep.
It would involve reinventing, I guess, what the relationship means. He does like no calls, basically, which is like his big alpha.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that? Like, I'd be curious to hear, because I know you have a lot of experience. You were talking about private equity and those sorts of firms. So I'd be curious to hear if you think that has any legs. I could see that working.
I could too. I really can. And I think in that space, you kind of got to follow in the footsteps of giants, right? His design space, he knows what he's going to deliver. It is carbon copy. There's not a lot of variance in his scope. So if you go that way, I think you've even told us before, you got to pick a niche, and not even a niche. You got to pick a product in the niche that you can rinse, wash, and repeat over and over. And you're kind of like operating as a mini SaaS at that point, right? And it's an interesting model because you're in the middle. If you're only delivering automations at this very narrow framework, technically you're a SaaS. There's no difference. But you're
Like
just
a managed high touch SaaS, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's if you want to go that route, it is definitely doable. I think there's a lot of margin there and a lot of opportunity there. It will come with different problems. That's for
Definitely.
sure.
I have a theory, and that's that all sufficiently advanced automation agencies cease to be automation agencies. Hear me out here. The whole idea of being an automation agency is essentially just being a software development agency or consultancy with extra steps. And as we know, those suffer from massive scope problems, right? Because every time somebody comes in with a freaking app request, it's so different every time. Like that's the core bottleneck in a software development agency. It's just like how variable the scopes are if you want to build custom bespoke projects.
Yep.
So automation agencies, like people trying to run them the same way, inevitably always like run into some sort of upper limit there. So what's the solution? Productizing, obviously. But how do you productize this generalized thing? Well, you obviously can't by definition. So what you do is you basically just look back and you're like, hey, what are all the systems that I've sold over the course of the last like 3 years? Then you assemble this giant library of templates, and then you just pick the ones that have the smallest scopes that are the easiest to fulfill. You get that customer avatar, and then you just attack them. And you cease to be an automation agency, and you start being a whatever that system is agency. So no longer an AI automation agency, you're a CRM development agency, you're a cold email agency, you're a speed to lead agency, a GTM engineering agency. Do you know what I mean? And then
That's
you just
it.
use the same systems that you developed in order to like produce the deliverable, and then you sell the deliverable. So it's exactly what you're talking about.
That's it. And you're right on the money. And the funny part is when you look at SaaS, old apps, they're automations with a widget on top and a brand. That's just it. Like Uber, whatever, Airbnb, can you automatically order me a car? Can you automatically book me a place at this person's house? It's all automation. And if you want to go that route, you want to build that brand, that's great. And you can do that. What do you think about the downfall of that side?
Well, obviously, you grow a lot more fragile. Obviously, because you're no longer heavily diversified. Like, if a new technology comes out that does the thing that you are asking and just does it way better because it's like a dedicated solution, some SaaS app, everybody moves over there. Why the hell would I do that?
Yep.
It's like website design or something like that. It's like, well, we all have Squarespace now, We all have WordPress and Webflow. So comparatively, value goes down. The thing is, you can sell anything to anybody. It just depends on how big of a scale you want to get to, right? Like, there are still website design agencies like Brett's that do over $100,000 a month as a solo op, despite the fact that website design's been around for 30 years. So are you going to build like a $100 million a year website design agency? No. But, can you build like a 100K a month one? Like, yeah. So matter of scale, I would say. But yeah, diversification is the main one. That's the main thing. And then, just like market supply. I mean, when you're doing B2B, like GTM engineering, for instance, is all about just going to market, usually cold email, personalization, the whole stack that I think you've done a ton of sales on now. And what happens when Google or Microsoft just like completely closes that avenue, right? They just say, well, we have this new AI intelligence that can detect with 98% certainty whether or not you're a cold email guy. We're just not going to allow it. Well, then your whole freaking business model's dead. But if you're a bespoke automation agency, it doesn't really matter.
That's it.
So,
exactly.
Those are my thoughts.
And I totally agree with you. With a singular service, you're at threat to just market disruption. You're at threat from your very providers that you're using to execute. Let's say you're creating voice agents and you throw a wrapper on top and you're like, hey, we sell receptionists for auto mechanic shops. And then all of a sudden 11 Labs says, you know what, we're closing off open access and we're just going to sell this ourselves. Then you're hooped. And so there's a really big threat there. And then, like you said, what happens when there's another competitor that is actually SaaS, not putting a wrapper on, and they're just better? And you kind of see in this in the agency space. I have friends who are like running Facebook ads, and Facebook was really blunt. They're coming out and they're saying, hey, look, we're building AI so you'll never need another marketing agency. It's going to happen. And now, because he was so narrow, the very thing that made him successful so quickly is now a threat to his existence, because he could not provide other marketing services on other channels. He wasn't a marketing agency. He was a Facebook lead agency. You pay a price for that speed and that growth and that margin, and it is risk to your future.
You hit the nail on the head when you said essentially that there are trade-offs. You're obviously very experienced at this stuff, and so I think you can see the parallel. But a lot of people ask me, hey, Nick, why do you run this business yourself, for instance? And I think you were one of the people that were like, what are you doing? Where the hell do you want to take this stuff? And then I thought about it, and then I think of it in a very similar way. Okay, when you productize and so on and so forth, it's supposed to offer these like bespoke solutions or heavily diversify. You're putting your eggs in one basket, and then as a result, if that basket is good and you chose the right thing, you grow really fast, right? So in my case, founder exceptionalism. I'm really good at what I do. I put all my eggs in that basket, and then I just grow really fast. What's the downside to that? Well, brand equity. How do I sell this business in the future? It's all me, right? I can't make money with Maker School. I can't do that shit because 99% of my leads would drive. Nobody wants to deal with some other person.
Yeah.
In that same way, you can see it as like the trade-off between productizing and then putting all your eggs in one product versus having like a suite of products, let's say.
Yep.
Now, in investing, corporate finance, right, diversification is the only free lunch. And I think about that similarly. So I think that there's like an 80-20. Like don't put all of your eggs in one basket. But if you really believe in something and you have some like market intelligence, you should probably put most of your eggs in one basket and then like hedge with your eggs in a few other baskets.
Absolutely. And it kind of goes against everything we're taught, right? You're like, focus, eliminate distractions, cut out all the noise, throw every egg in that basket and run as far as you can and worry about it after. Worry about it when you're getting paid. And it's such a weird, like, you're playing jump rope with your mind the entire way, because you're like, at what point? Okay, I'm here now. How do I diversify? Because I ignored it back there. Do I restructure? What do I do? Because this is what I do now. This is what I'm known for. And that's the fun part of business. But it also, like, it sucks. You never feel safe, ever.
No, you don't. But that's the thrill of life. Dude, we live in we have talking robots now. Okay? Dude, I was at sushi with a friend of mine, and a robot cart came up with a little frickin' Pikachu face, and it said, hello, sushi, and I frickin' took up the thing. Like, the fact that I'm even able to do any of this stuff is insane.
It is. It's exciting. It is. We're living the Jetsons. Who wouldn't want to build that stuff? Who wouldn't want to be a part of history, right?
Dude, so few people would get the Jetsons reference these days. It kills me.
It's it's a sad place in the world.
Sad state of affairs. Simultaneously a great state of affairs and the sad state of affairs.
Yeah.
All right, well, I just got a couple more questions for you before we wrap up.
Yeah.
What's your advice to people that are watching this right now that may be thinking, this sounds really cool, but I don't really know if I can do it, and I don't really know if it's possible?
You don't have a choice anymore. It's a time in history where you got to figure it out, and you're either going to be on the side of somebody who understands how the world runs and works, or you're not. So my advice is to use that perspective and learn it. We all have a brain. We can all learn things. It's not a matter of intelligence. It's a matter of will.
Well said. In the same vein, I see a lot of people asking, is it even possible to hit $10,000 a month or something? And they think that you need some like core nugget of knowledge in order to do so. And my answer to that question, I was just like, it is definitely not a core nugget of knowledge problem. It's like a reps problem.
Yeah.
When you see some big dude you're pretty, those shoulders are looking pretty juicy, Dan. I'm sure you hit the gym. When you see somebody like Daniel in the gym or whatnot, the question is not like, can I look like him? Obviously you can, because he looks like him, right? People out there look like him. It's just like he's done about 1 million more repetitions of a certain body part than you have. So that's really the gap, just the number of reps that you need to do in order to get there, I would say.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And to do it, you got to get excited about breaking things and failing. It's just go out and be like, how can I mess this up? And you'll be okay. The faster you get that done, the faster you get to the other side.
Absolutely. What's the next step for you then, man? Where you want to take the agency?
I have started doing light interviews with a few people to bring team members on. I'm exploring the fee split model as a collective, and I'd like to build it out that way, especially with the large volume of freelancers out there. We're all freelancers. We all went out on our own. We all started our own business because we like the freedom and flexibility. So, how do you create an organization that gives everyone that and delivers results for clients? And it seems that that model works best. So, build a group of people that love doing this and just funnel all of our efforts together through one point.
Sounds poignant. I wish you the best of luck in that.
Eh,
Thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you
And
too,
I'm stoked
man.
as hell to watch you and support you on that next leg of your journey, man.
Hey, I appreciate everything you did for me. You gave me a roadmap to get started, and helped me cut through the noise. And it's just been go 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 ever since, man.
Till next time.
Till
Cheers,
next
Daniel.
time.